I don't think there's one aspect of our lives that is not touched by autism. Jake was a totally typical baby, meeting every single developmental milestone, and his brother is only 20 months older than Jake, and so we know what typical looks like. We were rolling, counting our blessings, just feeling so happy with our family and our choices. And it was about 2 weeks after his first birthday that we noticed something was wrong, and the regression was very swift. Stopped looking at us, stopped playing with his brother, appeared deaf-like.
He had been ahead of his brother, actually, in some of the benchmarks, crawling before him. I even think saying words before his older brother did. So we knew something was happening for sure.
Our process that day was, we cried a lot. And it wasn't for ourselves, we'll do anything for Jake. It was for that vision of who we would be as a family. So now what do we do about it? And our first contact was Regional Center. And they came out and they did an assessment. And I remember they handed us a book that pretty much said, institutionalize your child. And I thought, absolutely not. That will never happen. And I remember a friend told me about TACA, and we became TACA parents. Jake was in early intervention by the time he was 2, and we were TACA parents by the time he was 3.
At that point, we were lost. We didn't know beforehand which avenue to take. It was pretty much the conventional way of going through a doctor, going through the county, maybe going through someone who knows someone down the road, but not a place that has so much knowledge and care.
I learned a long time ago that you can try to describe it, but unless you live it, it's very difficult for people to understand all of the things that happen in our day. I'd say the day that the word that describes our day the best is triage. And you never know what that's going to look like, depending on, what's happening that day for Jake.
Things can certainly change in a moment with Jacob. He vacillates quite a bit from being just happy and cheerful, very loving, very, very loving,
Super.
to worked up and quite honestly just fighting inside his own skin in a ballistic kind of way. And again, it's just out of these moments of, agitation and loss of control on his behalf. It's nothing that you could ever blame him for.
And we don't know what it'll switch to, so it's the couch, taking all the cushions and throwing them downstairs and upstairs and everywhere. He just doesn't want a couch, or flipping the entire couch over.
We have a living room that goes into a kitchen and then into a front foyer kind of area, and he will do that over and over, and when he gets really agitated, he ups the speed of it. He will walk endlessly around. Sometimes he'll swing open the refrigerator doors. We have a lock on it now. So we try to be as loving as we can while he's going through that. And it's not pity whatsoever that we're wanting when we explain that to anybody. It's understanding and knowledge of what goes on, because there may be other people out there. And that's why TACA is such an awesome place to be a part of, because we found out there are. They may have different levels of agitation, different relationships with people, different stories to share, but nonetheless, there's a common ground there of, yes, we know how you feel, and a lot of people out there don't.
If it weren't for this community and knowing that we're not alone, that's what we get from TACA, is knowing that we're not alone on this journey. I don't know where we'd be, because there aren't any helper agencies out there, running to the rescue. It's this organization that allows us to reach out when we're in a tough place, give us hope, encouragement, a hug when we need one, friendship. And again, that just surpasses what we can get from any other friend or even family member. I mean, it's not that our other friends and relatives don't love us, they do. They can't understand.
The thing I see from a distance, because I don't get to be too much of a part of it due to the caregiving, but there is no complacency. It's amazing that there's a drive and a mission that just continues, and with the numbers getting larger and so much going on nowadays, it's in the news. There's almost certain, well, just accept it, let it go, and deal with it. No, there's a resource and a mission that just continues with a fervor, which could easily have been, given up on long ago. It's amazing.
We're so grateful that that we have this resource, and all of the families and community, And honestly, even the things like the TACA picnic, or the other events where Jake is welcome. And we know that when we go to these events that Jake will be loved, and understood. And he can feel that. And so we're so grateful for all of those things that we get through this organization. Even though Jake is going to be 24 years old tomorrow, we're still working on it. We're still working on it.